Hey Hofstra fans, it's time once again for the WB Mason Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined as always by the head coach of Hofstra men's basketball, Joe Mihalich. Coach, how was the holiday weekend?
It was a blur. It was a blur, but it was great. It's my favorite holiday. I think it's, with all due respect to all the other holidays, we all have so much to be thankful for. So it's a great day to remember that. So it was a good day.
Despite the positive holiday weekend, you fall 66-59 to Manhattan on Saturday. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, again, here's a game that I've kind of clumped these three games together, the Richmond, Belmont, Manhattan games, because truth be told, if somebody were to say in July, hey, don't worry, you're going to be up at halftime in those three games, and it's going to be close down the stretch, and you're going to have a heck of a shot to win those games, I'd have said, I'm not sure about that this year. They're very, very good teams and so forth, and that was half right, because I'd only be half right, because they are very, very good teams, but doggone it, we had a chance to win those games, and I feel like we should have won those games, and just at the end, we just didn't make the winning plays, and the other teams did.
No Deanne Nesmith for this one. Jordan Allen plays a decent amount of point guard. How did you think he fared at the point?
Well, and you would think, well, the reason you didn't get it done against Manhattan was because you didn't have a point guard, and that wasn't the case, thanks to Jordan. He did a yeoman's job at the point. But we did not lose that game because of a lack of a point guard, or even because of a lack of one less player. We lost the game defensively. We just didn't get back and get set and have the game be in front of us with our transition defense, and then we didn't guard the ball at the end too. So, those were the two things that killed us.
Jamal Robinson, a career high 7 assists for the freshman. Is that going to be the kind of the plan going forward for however long Deion's out, Jordan and Jamal?
It looks that way, yeah. I mean, Zeke showed it, again, in an emergent situation. I kiddingly say that Jordan's like our third catcher, and that would make Zeke our fourth catcher. But, for the time being, it looks like Jordan's going to have to do it, and maybe Zeke can help out a little bit.
And Stephen Walcone, another solid game, averaging about a double-double the last couple of weeks. What has been the biggest change that you've seen with Stephen, if anything?
Well, I think he's not trying to do too much offensively. I think he's letting those things kind of come to him, and he's always been a terrific rebounder, always. He goes after the ball, he competes for the basketball as well as anybody, rebounds out of his area, and then of course when he gets offensive rebounds, that's when he gets to the foul line, he gets the points there at the foul line, and so he's been solid.
Another forward, Darren Payne, 10 points, 2 of his last 3 games. Is he starting to kind of put it all together now in his sophomore year?
He has shown a knack for scoring the basketball. Some guys make a shot and they want to pound their chest and think it's something that nobody's ever done before. And Darren's like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. It's a great quality he has. He can score the basketball. It's a wonderful thing.
Now, as a team, what do you want to see improved upon defensively?
I already mentioned it. We need to get back, and I use the expression, keep the game in front of us. Our transition defense has to be better. We have to get back and get set. And then we have to guard and get out the ball. I mean, it really sounds elementary, but that's the bottom line. Because if you stop actions, and I think we did a pretty decent job of that against Manhattan, we stopped the action. But when you stop the action, then somebody's going to have the basketball and they're going to try to make a play. And that may mean drive past you or shoot the ball. And those are the two things you have to guard.
Now, we have 2 games this week, a team that can score a lot of points. We've seen it a couple times. Sacred Heart tomorrow. What do you know about the Pioneers?
What I know is they beat Fordham at Fordham. And Manhattan couldn't do that. I'm sorry, Manhattan couldn't beat Fordham at home. So Fordham is a pretty good team, and Sacred Heart beat them at their place. And then Sacred Heart took Boston College to overtime at Boston College. So they have terrific guards. They have two guards that are both, I think their last game, they both had 4 or 5 threes. They're not a young team, they're a veteran team. It's a team that's a dangerous team. And what they're good at is what we were weak at against Manhattan.
Now, do you look at the records at all? They're 1-6, but as you mentioned, a lot of close losses. That overtime game to Boston College. They had another overtime game that they lost. They had the double overtime thriller to Holy Cross. Does record matter?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't think the record matters. I really don't. If anything, it works against you. So.
And then you have a second Hall of Fame head coach this year. You took on Rick Pitino earlier. You take on Larry Brown on Saturday. SMU. What do you know about the Mustangs?
Well, we don't. I honestly haven't thought much about them at all. You get into coach land, right? And all you're thinking about is Sacred Heart. So I haven't thought about SMU at all. Coach Nichols has, Shane Nichols, our assistant coach, he has that scout, so I know he has. And all he said was it'll be the second best team on our schedule because Louisville on our schedule. So we just know they'll be very, very good.
Talk about what you want to see better on defense. Anything you want to see different on offense?
We just need more reps with Jordan playing. See, when you lose a position, when Dean got hurt, we kind of lose a position. Not a player, we lost a position. And so everybody has now circled out of their comfort zone and into a different spot. So, who was not somebody who was your off guard is now your point guard. Somebody who was a wingman is now a second guard. So it's just everybody's out of position. So we need some reps.
And is this still kind of a learning process, learning how to win in all these close games that continues to move forward?
Well, there's no doubt about that. I may have mentioned it before on the show. I hope I didn't. But I talked to the Richmond coach and I said, the difference in our game is when it got down to the end, your kids knew you could win, and our kids weren't sure they could win because they hadn't been in that position before. They just haven't been there before. So we're getting in that position more and more, and as we get better at being in those positions, we'll be okay.
What do you have to do this week to pull out 2 wins?
To pull out, we're just worried about one right now. We got Sacred Heart tomorrow night, but it all starts with the defensive end. We need to sprint back, get set into our defense, guard some actions, and then also guard the basketball. And then we need to take care of the ball. Thought we did a good job of that against Manhattan. We did not turn the ball over as much as we had, so that was good. So we need to take care of the ball.
All right, Head Coach Joe Mihalich, good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
Hofstra takes on Sacred Heart tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the MAC. Come out and support the Pride. I'm Rob Joyce. Thanks, Hofstra fans, as always, for tuning in to the WV Mason Coaches Report with Joe Mihalich.